Hey guys, welcome to the call today. Welcome to our video chat. Again, I'm here with Trevor, the master of disaster on all things support and implementation for ConnectBooster. I am Ryan Goodman, founder and president of ConnectBooster. What we're going to talk about today are email functionality and notifications coming out of the system, which is, of course, ConnectBooster. And so a lot of you obviously know that we handle payments, automate entries into accounting. A lot of people don't realize the power outside of that, which is notifications to help you collect on dollars that might fall out of things like autopay, as well as get insight into who's opening my email notifications, who's opening my invoice notifications, as well as functionality like we send out a monthly summary showing invoices that are due, past due, current, what have you, and credit card status for the health and where they're at inside of their expiration cycle. So enough of me. Trevor is actually queued up to show it. That's way better than me talking about it. So Trevor, maybe you want to share your screen and we'll talk through some of that functionality and show everyone what we have available for them on the back end to help with collections.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Thanks, Ryan. Let me go ahead and share that here. And there we go. All right. So what we're seeing here, folks, is, of course, a portion of the ConnectBooster portal. I've already navigated to the relevant areas, but to get here, you go to the settings in your main menu, select configurations, and then client emails. And yeah, as Ryan said, the portal has a number of different email and functions and options there for you to use to do more than just, hey, let somebody know that their payment succeeded or it failed, right? We, of course, have that. That's in this transaction receipts area, but there's those other things as well. So one of the things Ryan mentioned, of course, was having the portal kind of help to keep your clients up to date if they have a card that's reaching or is nearing or has already reached its expiration date. There is functionality around that. You can come on in again under this account notification section and activate a payment method expiring reminder. As it notes here, what this would do is as that card is nearing its expiration date, a month prior to that expiration date, it'll start to ping that default billing contact, that contact at the organization that owns that card, once every week with a reminder to come on into the portal and update or change or maybe remove and replace that card. And it'll continue to do that until they have done so, until that card's been updated and or removed. Another thing that Ryan mentioned as well is the account summary capability. And that is a great way to just kind of keep people apprised of what's going on, whether it's the open invoices that they have or another secondary notification about those cards that are expiring. You can turn that on very simply here, and you've got a flexible schedule for when that should send out. You can, of course, send these on a one-by-one basis, so you can go to a customer up here in the system, search for them, and once you've reached their profile, hit send, John Doe at ABC Company an account summary. But this allows you to kind of have the system do it for you. Like we see here, we can choose it if you do your invoicing primarily in that first week of a new month. A lot of people will make a selection like this. Give the customers 10, 15 days to send in those checks or have their auto pay run, etc. And on the 15th of the month, anybody that's still got an open invoice included on the notice in the account summary. So, of course, we can also do things like the last day of the month or any other date kind of here in between for when that occurs. One thing that people bring up from time to time is that, hey, this would be great to turn on, but I've got a couple of clients that maybe they're a little behind.
Right.
And if I have some kind of notice that's firing out to them that's saying, hey, you owe this money, even if it's a really friendly, just a summary, it's going to kind of derail the conversations I've already had and maybe the repayment plans that we've been discussing. I don't want those folks to get it. That's where these customer exclusion options would come in. You'd kind of go ahead and just add that customer to the exclusions list, not going to get these account summaries when you turn them on. If they get caught up to date and you want to help keep them that way with the exclusions list, you can go ahead and remove them as well. So once they're caught up, if you do want them to start receiving them from that port forward, you can come on back and take them right back off that list. So that's a great little tip there for utilizing the account summary and not letting just a few people kind of spoil you from using that function. The exclusions list allows you to accommodate that need as well.
I like how simple that is to put people in that list as well as take out. I mean, it's just very, very plug and play, quick search, easy to remove. There's not this big configuration that needs to happen, right?
Right. It's like we saw, just as easy as start typing, the results pop up. That's the one I want. They're on the list. Okay, come on back. You know, a couple weeks, couple months later, take them right off when they're caught up, and we want to help keep them that way. Another notification that's really great here and is something that might be newer to some of our clients that are upgrading from the original version of the portal, something that they've definitely been interested in or kind of heard rumblings about before, right, is our automated past due notice, kind of this series of aging invoice reminders. And as you see with that function, you can turn on a collection of these past due reminders. In the example here, we've got it every 30 days, 30, 60, 90. You can go more frequent, 15, 30, 45, 60, and you can even add custom days. So one of the things that I talk with a few folks about is if their business typically has a net term, like a net 15 or a net 30 on invoices anyways, because all of these are based on how far it is past due, right, past that net term due date. If they're a net term type business, I might make a custom due date notice for that next day after it's come due, right? They've got their 15 or their 30 days from that net term. I'm going to make myself a quick, really friendly notice.
Right.
Say, hey,
that could be the little reminder, right? The little prod, like, hey, we already gave you 15 or 30 days, and then that term's like, let's get this moving.
Exactly. Like you say, you can come in here, edit that message, and just say, you know, this invoice is, hey, just a quick reminder, friendly reminder, this invoice is now due. Please make payment at your earliest convenience, yeah, right? Very, very quick, very, very simple to go ahead and make that change. Now, while we're here, actually, there's another newer feature that's shown here. This little button.
We were going to talk about that. It's right there.
Right. Yeah, there it is. So this is something we did send out some notices about here in the last couple of weeks, but it's a brand new avenue for receiving payment from your customers. And as part of activating that new avenue, that form of payment, you can automatically have it included on these types of notices, these outgoing notices that reference the invoices and are kind of reminding people to pay it. Then what makes this avenue unique to what you've had in the past is it allows clients to pay this invoice without having to necessarily log into the portal.
Right.
So it's a very simple, very fast pay it right now, which is why we are calling it the pay now option, so that they just have to go ahead and either click a button like we have here that takes them to a new section of your portal, fills in the information, or relevant to it. Of course, this is a fake invoice, so we get a little warning. So it does have validation there, that the email that they provide, the invoice number, and the amounts are all legitimate. You know, it matches to a corresponding record within your system, kind of helps people that way. So that's a great way to just take that payment right now, because as soon as we continue here, they'll be asked for the card or bank account information and allow them to proceed and make that payment. That can open up the capability to get you paid, even for people that haven't yet been set up with portal access, or maybe they're not the normal person, but they got forwarded the email that we owe this money. They could jump right in.
Yeah, have those even if they don't have a user account. That's a great use case right there. You just laid out. You know, you could have someone that, you know, is more of a fully inclusive admin, but maybe that person's on vacation. They said, hey, when this comes through, I want you to use your company card to pay this because we need to get this done to, you know, keep service intact, whatever.
Right. Right. Yeah, and like I say, that's a great new function, new feature here, and we just see it here from the page on how that can be included on these system notices, sort of by default, but with a simple check of a switch. Now, if that is something you're interested in, I'll just do a quick show and tell for folks on how to turn that Pay Now function on.
Oh, cool.
We're under their billing section, and it's right here at the bottom. These Pay Now settings, it always takes a little bit to load these pages here. So when we activate this Pay Now setting, we turn it on, and then if we'd like that button added by default automatically to the system's notices, we simply check the second option here as well.
Again, I think the cool thing is very easy to configure. There's not a lot of extra work. I mean, now, the other thing is we're always willing to help on the support side. You have questions,
Right,
you'd like to implement this, yes, we're here to help, but we want to make sure that most of you are computer science, but you don't need to have a computer science degree to run the back end here.
Right, you got it. So yeah, one of the other things you had mentioned, Ryan, was sort of some of the accountability around these messaging, the system messages. So it's something that not everybody utilizes or is aware of, and that's that by default the system has some basic email tracking built into it, and these are things like, here's the message that was sent, was it successful or failed? So we kind of see something just like this. I'm now over in the reports area, and I selected the email history report and did a few more filters just to kind of bring things into perspective. We were just talking about past due invoice notices, so I've got this currently filtered down to messages that have been sent out for that past due invoice. So as I say, by default out of the box, everybody gets this view where they can see what messages has it been sending and, success, failure. If there's errors or something like that and that's bound back, we'll show that. But what not everybody chooses to do, but what they can get if they want to go ahead and take that next step and see that responsibility, maybe I've got old Surfer Greg here that got his notice about his 60-day past due invoice. And now he's trying to call me up and say he never knew that he owed us any invoices, right?
Well, now you can get a little forensic, right?
Right, we can get a little forensic. We can do a little extra email tracking here, and we can go in and actually see, hey, we sent it to him 7 in the evening on the 23rd. Next afternoon, he opened it up, looked at it again 15 minutes later. So if I were to check, maybe he'd received this a month prior as well. And he tried to tell me he never knew about it. Now I can call him on it, right?
Surfer Greg.
Yeah, this additional email tracking capability is, as I say, an add-on, an enrollment thing. You can activate it typically via your subscriptions area here in the left-hand menu.
Well, it's really inexpensive to get that.
Right. As it says here, it's at most $10 a month for that tracking. And for those of us that are using the volume-based pricing like we see here, it can almost roll right in and be covered with the discount that we get for utilization here.
Right.
As far as other things, I think that's a great real basis in terms of some of those features and new things or ideas or ways to use it that maybe people haven't
utilized,
brought up to date or utilized. One thing about notifications is not only do they kind of help you collect money, but you can also, every touch with a customer, and especially from the portal, is another opportunity to engage that customer with the portal itself and its capabilities. So having and tweaking those templates, we saw how you can tweak those templates, those messages, gives you that opportunity to put multiple uses to that outgoing message, whether it's reminding them about the outstanding funds or the invoices they owe, reminding them about the portal and its availability 24/7. They can come in anytime they like, check things out. It's a great opportunity to every one of those touches to just drive that customer awareness and adoption and utilization of the portal and function.
You started a service-based business I'm guessing you didn't expect to be a bank or a collection agency. So, utilize these tools to make sure you're not in the business you shouldn't be in, and grow your core business, and let us automate the rest of it. Trevor, thank you so much for spending the time to show everybody some of the additional functionality outside of just the pure payments piece that a lot of people know us, and how we can help automate a lot of their back end and eliminate a lot of work. And again, no need to be a bank, but also no need to be a collection agency. Let automation do the work and let the cash flow into your business. Thanks again, Trev. Appreciate your time.
No problem, Ryan. Thanks.
You bet.